This is the AOC Sports High School Football Preview Show.
Week 5 of Friday Night Rivals here on UTV 44, our AOC pregame show from AOC. Good evening, I'm Jim Cox, my partner Dan Brennan, as always, as we get ready for tonight's 5A matchup between the Vigor Wolves and the UMS-Wright Bulldogs. UMS-Wright ranked number 1 in the state, unbeaten. Vigor coming in ranked as well, 3-1, and certainly excited about this game. But what a game we had last Friday. I know we've said that now a few weeks in a row, but what a game, Saraland Spanish Fort last week.
And what an atmosphere, too.
Sold out, totally sold out.
Sold out by 6:30 that night.
TV,
you had Spanish Fort and other fans turned away at the gate, expecting to be there for the game, and they were turned away. So a great atmosphere and a really good game, and I think we learned a lot about Spanish Fort because we already knew what we knew about Saraland. They're explosive. They've got some players that are almost always going to be a matchup win for them, at least at some point during the game. But Spanish Fort showed a lot of grit and no quit.
Yeah, could have packed it in a couple of times, fell behind there late in the first half, and then in the fourth quarter as well. But it turned out to be a great matchup. And then now tonight you also have that Spanish Fort team going up against Theodore. That should be a big matchup in 6A.
Have the ambulance ready.
Yeah, it's going to be a thumper. And that one's back in Spanish Fort. But tonight, as we said, matchup at UMS-Wright and Vigor. We look forward to that one. Heather Healy back here with us here in our first segment. And how about that atmosphere last week? I mean, it was sold out at a huge. I don't know, what's that stadium hold? I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you, but
32,000, I think, somewhere, maybe not that.
Might
maybe
be a bit of a stretch.
But it was great. I mean, it was an unbelievable atmosphere.
It really was electric, to say the least, on both sides. That's what I was really impressed with. And some of those people that got turned away, they looked at me, got mad at me, thinking that I could get them in. But
underneath you, when we send it to you, it says "Ticket Lady."
Yeah, that's right. AKA.
But problem? Contact Heather.
That's right. But honestly, it was so much fun getting to be down there, and I got on both sidelines, and honestly, just the grit that both teams had and the passion that they both had. I mean, I hadn't seen that big all season, to be honest. So on both sides, it was really cool to see.
Yeah, I was telling my wife afterwards that if you're watching especially an NFL game, and there's a call that's been challenged, and if it looks like it's not in favor of the home team, like they don't put it up on the big video board. The home team doesn't want anybody seeing any more views of that. Well, this game on that huge new video board at Saraland was just taking our feed, and of course there were two calls that just went against Spanish Fort, and they were just clear. They were just misses.
And they played over and over again on that big screen.
Yeah, so they're just taking our feed, and we're showing the viewers at home what happened on the one fumble that was ruled an incomplete pass, and then the fumble that was ruled not a fumble. And it just, we kept showing it, and I'm sure like the Saraland administration and coaches were like, this is our play. We all quit showing that right here now.
And the scoreboard is a little bit closer to the Spanish Fort sideline.
Yeah. But you can see it in Chickasaw. I mean, it's that big.
It's the biggest in the state of Alabama. How crazy is that, right?
It is. It is huge. They are in the lead in the big Jumbotron arms race right now. And
they may be in the lead in the arms race overall at Saraland with everything they've got. Their facilities are really great, and they've got some really good players.
So this Vigor defense we're going to see here tonight, looking forward to seeing them. I mean, they have 2 shutouts. I think they've not given up many points all year. This is going to be I think one of those low-scoring, grinded-out battles on Old Shell Road.
Well, people talk about Towner, very defensive, very talented defensive end, but really I think the guy you want to watch is very undersized, and his name is Purifoy, Brandon Purifoy.
Yep.
He's an outside linebacker. He really doesn't look like an outside linebacker.
Started for him last year.
But he plays like a madman and gives all the effort you would ever want to see out of a high school football player.
And it'll be a great test to see these two teams. I think it was 2007 the last time they played, when they were back in the same classifications back then.
You know what? I remember one thing really cool from the state championship back in the day, maybe 2010, maybe around there. But Vigor's game was it the next day? Or I might have this mixed up. In any event, they all convened behind the UMS-Wright bench to pull on UMS-Wright as a Mobile team. They may have stayed to be at that game. I don't quite remember, but I thought it was one of the coolest shows of sportsmanship that you can have.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, and again, we haven't seen these two teams play in, it's been a while, so we look forward to this one here tonight. Both of them back in 5A now. Of course, Vigor won the 4A state championship last year, so going to be a great one. That's why it's our Friday Night Rivals game of the week, right? So when we come back, we're going to talk about those Vigor Wolves as Coach Marcus Cook is here. We'll talk all about that and their matchup tonight, and they're coming off their big win over Williamson last week where they pitched another shutout against a previously unbeaten Williamson Lions team. So we'll come back, we'll talk Vigor Wolves. We get ready for our matchup tonight between Vigor and UMS here on Friday Night Rivals. Friday Night Rivals, our AOC pregame show here at AOC. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, as we get ready for Vigor and UMS tonight from UMS. We've got the head coach of the Vigor Wolves, Marcus Cook, with us here, and we got Michael Towner, defensive end from the Wolves, with us as well. The Wolves off to a great start, 3-1, and we were saying, Coach, you had not been on this show before. Like, you went back and looked at some film, like YouTubed this up. You were scouting, right? You wanted to find out what was in store for this.
Always scouting.
Yeah, prepared, right? Always got to know what your opponent is doing. Got to be happy with the start your team's off to, especially where you're playing on the defensive side of the football.
Yes, I'm very impressed with my defense. Offensively, we need to clean up some things, but we're growing. Young offense, but we're getting some momentum going into the latter part of the season.
I know you had the game against BC Rain that was a loss that I think a lot of people weren't expecting to see, and I know you certainly weren't expecting that either, but really have taken that and really able to use it as a coachable moment for your team, and kind of that, hey, we got to be ready every Friday night. I mean, you've been able to take some good away from that, it sounds like.
Yeah, it was an eye-opener. I think it woke up the team, the staff, I think the whole school, and we had to come in and revamp some things and just get back to work, get back to Vigor football, and it's paid off.
Vigor football is not bad because last year you won the state. Congratulations, you were on that staff as an offensive coordinator. A couple of things. You played at Vigor. Talk about that experience. And you even won a state championship when you played, correct?
No, I lost in the state championship
game against
Hartselle.
Yeah, remember that game? Talk about playing at Vigor and how much it means now. And I guess those memories are pretty fresh. It was not that long ago.
Yeah, playing at Vigor, it's priceless. Your community's behind you, the fans are behind you, and you just get enjoyment from it. Everybody flocks to you, and once you're rolling, you're rolling.
Mm-hmm. And there are, I think we talk about this, and it's probably schools that we see on TV more. There's some schools that it just matters more to players. Yeah. I mean, it just matters more to be a part of the football team, and Vigor is certainly that case. Michael Towner, as we said, defensive end going to UAB, and you said last week with a win over Williamson, 6-0, got the shutout. You said you were really proud of the rest of your teammates on the D-line. You had a D-line. Sounds like you had a lot of guys step up around you last week.
Yes, sir. Randall Davis, Reggie Pope, Elwin Boone, Jake Lane. They stepped up a lot because I was needed on offense and special teams. I needed breaks, and they gave me them breaks.
Yeah, you come in at Wildcat sometime
yes,
on offense. That's a big, fast, angry man.
That's a matchup nightmare.
that's a tough guy coming through that teams are going to have to stop. I saw some of the highlights against Blunt. Do you enjoy running the ball?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I love running the ball.
Yeah, because
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, you know what that defense is supposed to be doing against you, and it's fun, but it's also effective. I mean, what a change of pace weapon to have to take this guy who we talk so much about on the defensive side, put him in that offensive backfield.
Yeah, it's good to have him on my side. He's a good weapon to have. You just have to limit it, to preserve his body, but you have to know when to do it.
One of the things that played a key factor in that win over Williamson was special teams. Yes. And sometimes we've seen schools struggle with special teams, but boy, we've seen a lot of games won and lost on Friday Night Rivals to either good or bad special teams play. Talk about your special teams unit last week.
My special teams coordinator is Rashad Johnson. We work special teams. Michael can tell you at least 30 to 45 minutes each day on the practice field. We have meetings, and we actually harp on special teams a lot. And so we knew that coming into this season, it was going to be make or break for us with special teams. So we emphasize it every single day.
That's very impressive. Another team that does that is the team you're going to play. They work on special teams a good bit. What do you see when you see the film of UMS-Wright? They are undefeated. They are ranked #1. None of that really matters because it all gets settled on the football field. But what do they do well that you envy and you know you need to try and stop?
They have championship pedigree just like us. You know, they do a lot of things similar to us. They like to run the football and play good defense. That's what we like to do at Vigor High School as well. They like to be strong in the special teams game. We do as well. So it's no tricking. It's not a, trick plays. It's right at you. You know, the physical, dominant football. You know, both of us really like to play the same type of ball game.
Interesting.
And they're going to come out and want to run it against you in this game, right?
Yes, sir.
And when you watch them, are they just smart, technique, sound? What is it that's allowed them to run the ball so well this year?
Smart technique. They physical, but our defense physical. So we gonna have to be patient, smart, and just stay home on a lot of plays.
Follow your keys and make the play, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun to watch
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
these two, both sides, offensive, defensive line, both sides match up here tonight. We've talked about your physical and how great your defense has been. You'd be okay if this was a defensive just knockdown tonight, right? You'd be okay with that, right?
I'll be fine with that. I'll totally be fine with that.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for being here. First year head coach Marcus Cook with us. Michael Towner going to start defensive end. We'll see him special teams, offense.
Going to UAB.
Going to UAB. I bet we'll call his name.
I'll bet we will.
A lot tonight. All right. We'll find out what Terry Curtis is thinking in the matchup tonight for UMS and Vigors. We talk about the Bulldogs coming up right after this. Friday Night Rivals, our matchup tonight. We're at Old Shell Road. UMS-Wright playing host to the Vigor Wolves, 5A, big Region 1 matchup. UMS-Wright unbeaten, top of the state polls in 5A, and going up against this Vigor team. We haven't seen this matchup, as we said, since 2007. But as long as we've been doing this, like, some things never change, right? UMS-Wright, great season, top of the polls. I mean, it's just it's unbelievable, the consistency.
We can talk with Terry about this, but they seem to do it consistently in kind of the same way. You don't see them following the trail. I'm sure there's things that Terry and his staff take from the latest in football, but for the most part, they run the ball, they play action, and they play sound defense. And on special teams, they're going to block one a game, just about. So they did it that way in 2000, and they're doing it that way this year.
Yeah, good teams run the ball, good defense, run the ball, special teams. We win a lot of football games at any level doing that, right?
Well, it does. I don't care if it's high school, college, or pro. You know, if you run the football and throw it when you want to, you got a chance to win every game. And and that's kind of our philosophy. Our kids know that. We're gonna try to do that. Now we will spread it out. We'll throw it some, but it's just kind of who we are and what our guys believe in and what they've come up doing. So that's just kind of who we are.
So many teams struggle to find an identity. I mean, you have that.
They don't.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know that, and the kids have seen it since they've been at UMS since
third grade.
Yeah, right.
And a quick question about that, Terry. How soon in the program, in the elementary and middle schools, do you begin to implement this is the way we do it? When they get to 7th grade, 8th grade, or
third grade?
Really?
Yeah.
I watched the 5th grade game tonight before I came over here. We played 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, every grade individually. They stay with their own class all the way up, and we're reaping we develop our guys. Yep. I mean, most of them started there in K4, but we started playing football in the 3rd grade, and it's kind of who we are and what we're all about, and we don't have a lot of guys going to college or even want to go to college.
To play football, yeah.
Everybody
goes to college.
I mean, they're going to go to college, and they're going to go and get in a fraternity and be happy and do those things, but they're perfectly happy with that.
Yep. So, one thing that's also not changed, that is maybe not an easy part of high school football. Playing quarterback for Terry Curtis at UMS-Wright is not it's a demanding position because he expects a lot out of his quarterback and gets that play and then is rewarded with state championship, those things. Talk about what it's like just playing quarterback for Coach Curtis.
Well,
Come on, Sutton.
it's really,
Be nice.
he just expects leadership, be through words, through actions, but mainly just managing the offense and just doing your job, making sure everybody's in the right position, and just taking care of the football. Try not to have too many turnovers, do your best not to, and then just be a good teammate to everybody, pick everybody up.
And give the ball to Blaylock.
Hey, he's a key person.
Seems to be. I'm looking at the stats. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, we've had the privilege to see him the past couple of years, and just a special player. We were talking about with Michael Towner about what he sees looking at your team offensively as he gets ready to take you guys on. What do you see when you look at this Vigor defense?
I just see big, strong, and athletic. I think we're just going to have to play just smart and just do your job, just not really mess up anything on the blocking scheme, and just play physical as you can, really.
Yeah, typical Vigor, quote unquote, typical Vigor Wolves team that you see coming here.
Yeah, I mean, their front is unbelievable, and the rest of them are athletic, can run, they play a lot of man stuff, and they can cover, and they can get away with it. And anytime you face a Vigor team, and I've been playing them since I was in Shaw High School,
right?
So a lot of great teams, a lot of great players. So you know what you're going to get, and you try to find a couple things that you can find, a couple honey holes, and you try to do that, but you really don't try to trick them or anything, because you're not going to outrun them, and you're not going to do anything stupid that they're not going to know about.
You just got to execute your
That's right.
best you
You
can,
gotta,
and hopefully you make a play or two, right?
And be patient. I'm guessing you got to be patient against a defense like this.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to pick your spots because they got a number of guys over there that at any point, you throw an interception or whatever, they're capable of taking it back, and you got to be solid in the kicking game. And you can tell they worked at their kicking game, which they can't always be said about them. You always found some stuff that you thought you could do against them, but Coach Cook's done a good job as far as the whole game, because there is three phases. You've got to be able to play offense, defense, and kick. And what is the saying? If you win two of those, everything's good.
Just a quick look, just pride factor to be the quarterback at UMS-Wright. What's that mean to you?
It means a lot. It's not really pressure, I would say, but it's just mainly just making sure everybody's doing their job and just kind of keep a good attitude throughout the whole, no matter what's happening. Throw interceptions, say, pick them up, my bad guys, make sure everybody's in the right position. But I mean, it's a great job to have, but it comes with I wouldn't say downs, but it comes with like a couple yells.
A lot of responsibility. It is. All right, stay here. Heather's going to
kept a good attitude this whole show.
Yes, Heather's going to be right with you. Dan and I are going to head to the press box as we get you ready for Friday night rivals tonight from UMS, Vigor Wolves, and the Bulldogs. Coming up right after this.
Welcome back to the High School Football Preview Show, everybody. Heather Healy here. It is finally my turn. Dan and Jim are in the press box. Before we have fun with our players, let's get into our Wendy's Giant of the Week. Congratulations are in big order for Ezra Sexton, a senior running back from St. Michael Catholic High School, this week's Wendy's Giant of the Week. Do you want to be this week's Wendy's Giant of the Week? Well, if you are a junior or a senior who plays on the football team at any of the high schools in our Alabama viewing area, well, guess what? You can win. Log on to UTV44.com and click on the contest page to be entered for a Wendy's Giant of the Week prize pack. Of course, rules and regulations do apply. All right, we have both of our players here. I have got Sutton Snipes and I've got Michael Towner Jr. here. And guys, before we get into the fun stuff of it, I got to ask you, big game, we're in week 5. Talk about the importance of this game as it's on your home turf.
I think the most major importance is just being kind of, this is what takes over being the #1 spot in 5A in our region.
Yeah.
And so I think that's not a lot. I mean, I just think it's a lot riding on it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's important, very important, and definitely going to do our hardest to get the win.
Absolutely. And for you, defense has been stellar. I mean, we've seen it. We talked about it through all this preview show. Talk about the game plan for you guys tonight to get that defense stellar.
To stop UMS running back Cole Blaylock.
Okay, that's the #1 goal, right?
That's #1 goal.
All right, here we go. Fun questions for you guys. Play fair, play safe. Are we ready? All right, I'm going to start with you as we are going to UMS-Wright. So I'm going to start with the home team. What musical artist could you listen to on repeat right now?
Country music, probably Luke Combs.
Oh, Luke Combs is my absolute favorite. I like that. You?
NBA Youngboy.
Okay, why him?
Because
Okay.
he just gave me that crazy move for
Yeah,
me.
I like that. Okay. If you could add anybody to your Mount Rushmore of football, anybody, coach, player, past, present, who would you do?
Darius Fallon.
Okay, who would you do?
And Derrick Henry.
All right, I like both of those answers. Favorite breakfast cereal?
Cinnamon. No, I don't like that. Fruity Pebbles.
Why Fruity Pebbles? Here's the deal with Fruity Pebbles. You pour the milk and you got to eat it in like 30 seconds or it's going to get all soggy.
Soggy. Yeah.
Okay, but you like it.
Yeah, that's more challenging part to do.
Okay, very, very, very true. Your stock just went a little down with me, but that's all right. What about you?
I have to go with Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yes, that
for
is
sure.
that is my favorite as well. Traveler or homebody?
Homebody.
Okay, traveler.
Traveler, for
Traveler. Where have you gone?
I just like to go up and gone out to Wyoming, gone out to BVI, gone out to Bahamas, just anywhere I can, whenever I have time off, just go.
I like it. I'm more of a homebody like you, though, but I like it, though. Gentlemen, thank you both so much for being here tonight. And play fair, play safe, have fun, all right? We are just about a few seconds away with Dan and Jim up in the press box. We will see you soon.